Hi, I'm Ed Dotaratis, and this is my presentation. For my professional development that I created, I did a session or three sessions on using AI or artificial intelligence in specifically the math classroom. For AI in the math classroom, just some background. The professional development series that I planned is specifically for middle school math teachers. I could also extend this to high school math teachers as well, but I was just thinking of where I work and focusing on positive implementations into our curriculum. I have mentioned in past papers how I've gotten PD on AI in the past, but it's always been geared towards ELA, language arts, reading, and we've rarely gotten any input on how to use AI in the math classroom. Each session will combine direct instruction on how to set up AI or how to use AI, followed by some collaborative or individual work time in which the teachers try it on their own. Teachers will learn how to create effective AI prompts and spaces geared to needs of students and lessons. And the goal is for participants to leave with practical, ready to use prompts and examples that can be used in their upcoming school year. The overall learning objective is teachers will learn to enhance classroom instruction and student learning through personal engagement with artificial intelligence and its untapped positive potential in the math classroom. I have three sessions. So my first session is using AI as a direct instruction or note taking resource. The goal here is to show teachers how they can set up an AI space that students can be assigned to, in which they can discover vocabulary and concepts on their own instead of our typical direct instruction, rote note taking setup. The learning objective is teachers will be able to create AI spaces that enable students to learn vocabulary through individual discovery. I did do this in my past school year, just as an example here to show. I made an AI space on data terminology instead of me presenting it and having students handwrite them in a traditional fashion. So I gave them all a little sheet here in which they filled out depending on how they researched the using the school AI. So here I have coded this, and I can edit the code if I wanted to. Here's how I coded the space, and I can start the preview. And this is what the students will see over here. So if they look at their note sheet that they need to fill out, the first thing they're looking up is the mean of data. So they can type in, this is again, this right here on the right side is the student view. What is the mean of a data set? And school AI will give them a definition. Um, and if they'd like, they can continue. If this makes sense to them, they can continue. You can also ask them to shorten or lengthen the answer. Can you shorten your response? So I think it actually can somewhat differentiate depending on, just to a certain degree, um, depending on what the student wants. If they want a really short, compact answer, the AI can do that for them. If they want a lengthier one, a more detailed explanation, they can also ask the AI to do that, and it will provide that for them. And eventually, they will ask for an example and some practice problems, and the AI will give that to them as well. So it's kind of an individual discovery type note style in which students can even somewhat differentiate for themselves. That's session one. For session two, our topic was using AI as a student feedback and scaffolding source. So here, a teacher can actually upload the worksheet that they're doing. So let's say they're doing a worksheet in class onto the AI, and the student, so let's say a teacher's pulling small groups. A student not in the small group could potentially open the AI and ask for help on a certain problem. The teacher could also code or prompt the AI to make sure it doesn't give a specific answer right away. You can say, tell the AI to only scaffold or to only give hints, and it will do so. So it's a good way to kind of give feedback while the teacher's busy, maybe doing a small group or something of that sort. The learning objective here is teachers will code an AI space to provide effective feedback and scaffolding for students to engage with without providing specific answers or an answer key. The third session is using AI as a study buddy for students looking for additional resources. The goal here is to create an AI space that allows students to kind of ask for more questions or examples on their own time. So a lot of the times as math teachers, we get a lot of questions like, is there more practice we can do? And sometimes we even run out of problems for certain students, especially if we're running extra help programs. The nice thing is we can create an AI space that will make problems or make questions that students can engage with. And it can even provide a correct answer, and we can prompt the AI or code the AI to make sure it does that in the right manner. So I think it's a good idea to kind of enable AI to be a study buddy for these students that are looking for additional help or practice, I should say. The learning objective here is teachers will be able to use AI to create practice resources for students that can be printed guides or study buddy spaces. What I learned. One aspect of professional development I feel I learned was that sessions should be planned similar to lesson plans with our own students. So our teachers that are in our professional development sessions are almost like students. Um, I also found myself more passionate about creating a professional development curriculum than I originally anticipated. I really got into this project and I really kind of enjoyed coming up with 3 separate sessions that could be impactful or positive. One last point of emphasis I feel as though I learned or confirmed is that professional development seems most effective when it follows a structured curriculum over multiple sessions. So, we really want to make sure we are um, kind of making a path to a goal. Uh, Challenges. One of the challenges I faced was narrowing my curriculum down to the most important or applicable topics. So, really keeping it to 3 as opposed to more. Another challenge included deciding whether to limit my professional development plan to a specific type of teacher. Um, but I ended up deciding a honed in focus was more impactful. I decided keeping it just to middle school math or even middle and high school math felt like the best way to kind of, I don't know, just zone in on how to implement this into our classrooms. One recommendation I would give to future students completing this is to make sure you pick something that you're passionate about. I think this project actually could be a very positive experience and actually somewhat fun to do depending on what you choose. And hopefully, a future student chooses something that does interest them, that they can create a professional development for their peers.